This is the inside of the Swift Suntor 630G. If I firstly move to the main control panel, I can turn the 12 volt on just here. Once we've done this, you'll see that it's displaying the internal temperature. It's letting us know that we're currently connected to mains electricity with the little picture of the lightning strike. It's displaying the time and then the date. Up here we have the water pump on and off. We need the water pump on so we can get water out of the taps, flush the toilet and fill the boiler if it's been drained down. This button here is not used on this particular model. It would be for tank heaters if they were fitted. I will explain what these two are in just a moment. Over this side here we have awning light on and off. We then have entrance light on and off. And then we have the main isolator for all of the onboard lights. These can all be individually turned on and off on their own switches. And by pressing this one here we can turn off a certain amount as well. All other information is then given just by pressing the tick, so we can see how much water is in the fresh and the waste tank. We can see the condition of both leisure and vehicle batteries and the amount of amps either coming in or going out, and then back to the beginning again. Down here we can select the vehicle battery to be used to run the back end of the motorhome. This should only be really used in an emergency. To alter the clock, just hold the tick in and it will then go into its little menu here, and you'll see you've got arrows just here, cancel and enter. Also in here it's just letting you know what control panel it is. You can change the brightness of the screen. You can also set timers for heating and hot water in here as well. So for this one here is for hot water. You can literally set a timer, so you just literally hit enter. You'll see that it's now flashing. If I now use the arrows, I can put a tick in it to activate a timer. Then press enter again. And it will then move across and then decide when you would like your hot water to come on and then go off again. I will now disarm it again. We then have one just here for the heating. Again, just arrow in, click, tick, and then decide when you would like it to come on and then what temperature you would like it to maintain. This will only really work if you are running on main supply. If you're running on gas, obviously the fire will not click in and out. Button beeps on and off. And then alarms to let you know if the batteries are low and if the fresh water tank is low or the waste water tank is high. And you can also set a wake up alarm as well just there. And then back to the beginning again. If we now come across to the dials just here, this dial here controls the electric element in the fire just here. So you'll see that we have an inner dial and an outer dial. The inner dial just controls the heat, and then the outer dial the power setting. So if I flick it up, we'll be running the electric element on 2 kilowatts, 500 watts or 1 kilowatt, so just dependent on the amperage of the site you're on to try and avoid tripping. Once you've done this, the element still hasn't actually come on yet. We then need to come across to here, and you'll see we have this one for heating. And if I now press it, you'll see that at the moment it's set at 30 degrees. Just arrow up and down, pick whatever temperature you would like it to maintain within the motorhome, and then just press the enter button. That will then store in, and it will then come on, and it will then also allow you to turn on the circulation fan. Control the circulation fan, just speed there, and then it will blow out the warm air through the air ducts around the motorhome. If you flick it onto auto, it will just click on and off as it's required. Obviously, if you also have in conjunction the timer turned on as well, it will then just come on when it's required. We then have, beside that, hot water on gas. If I flick it at the moment, it will not do anything. What we firstly need to do is turn on the hot water part just here, and then what we then need to do is flick it down, make sure the flue cover is removed from the outside, and then we can control the temperature of the water on the inner dial just here. 30 degrees being the coolest, 70 being the hottest, and if it fails to light, a red light will appear just here. Again, if you have a timer activated, as long as you've got this all flicked on ready to go, once the timer comes on, it will then automatically ignite itself. For hot water on main supply, we just need to come underneath the bench seat just here, and if I now lift up, you'll see that we have switches just down the bottom here, and you'll see that the center one here is for the water heater. So if I now flick it to the off point, we've now turned hot water on mains off, and if I flick it down, we've then got hot water on mains on. We do not need to press anything on the control panel, it will just commence heating up hot water, and you'll get a temperature of about 60 degrees. Do make sure that you're flicking this on and off, because if you leave it on and then drain the boiler down and then plug into the mains, it will come on and you will likely damage the element. Also down here you'll see that we have the isolator for the heater on main supply, so again if we flick this off it will not work. Quite frankly, you can just leave it on like so. The same with the battery charger just here. We want to be able to charge the batteries whilst we're hooked up to the main supply, and the battery charger is just here. You'll see that we have the main 40 amp fuse just there, and then we have the 12 volt fuses just here. So if anything's not working on 12 volt, just check to see if you've blown a fuse, or the main one just there. Trip switches just here, so we've got the individual MCBs, the main RCD and test button just here. So if anything's not working on main supply, just check to see if you've tripped. Solar panel regulator just here. We don't need to do anything with this, it will just charge the leisure battery as it's required, and the leisure battery sits here. To drain the fresh water tank down, we just need to come to the hatch just here and lift it up. And then you can see the fresh water tank there. And if I unscrew the cap, there is a bung just located at the very bottom. Just pull the bung out to drain the tank down. This is also a good way to clean the tank out as well. If I now take the cushions from the travel seats off, and again now lift up, we have storage beneath. We also have the water pump just there. To light the fire on gas, just twist and you'll hear the igniter start to spark. Then just hold down and then just let go. You can usually hear a whoosh, and as long as the igniter doesn't start clicking again, you know it's lit. You can also peer for the pilot light just in the window there. The igniter does require a battery, so if it's not working, you just need to come to the base of the unit where my finger is just here, and there's an AA battery. Television just here. The location of the television aerial is just in the wardrobe. The digital amplifier is just there, so just make sure that it's on off switch just there, and make sure that you're on a normal boost just here. Then unscrew and make sure that the mast is up and in position that you require. You can make it flip from horizontal to vertical just by turning the tail just here. Once locked in, you can then tune the television in. If the television needs retuning in, just come to this one here that says LCD menu, press it, and then just arrow across to tuning settings, drop down to auto tuning, and then just press OK, and then OK again, and then it will then retune itself in. This will be required as you change locations. Do make sure that the television aerial is back down again for travel. Hob just here. So we have the electric hot plate just here that will work when the van is connected to main supply, and it works just on this one here. And then we have the gas rings, so push in, twist and press the igniter. Automatic gas cutout if the lid goes down. Beneath that we have the grill, and again just push in, twist and hold the igniter in. And then lastly the oven. Beneath the oven is storage. You will also find a plug plugged in, which is just for the hot plate, And then there are also some gas isolation taps in here, and they are colour coded. Fridge just here, on and off on the button here. This is an automatic model, so as long as you are on auto, it will find the best power source it can for you. So because we're currently hooked up to mains supply, let's put us onto mains with a little picture of the 2-pin plug just here. If I was now to go outside and pull the mains lead out, it would then automatically attempt to fire itself up onto gas. And then as soon as we start the engine, it will automatically go over to 12 volt maintain to keep itself cold whilst on the move. We can take it out of auto, so if I just press here, we can put it on to 12 volt maintain. It's going to flash and give us an error code at the moment because the engine's not running. And I can manually put it onto gas, and I can manually put it onto mains. But automatic is the easiest option to have it on. Temperature control just here. Washroom. So we have the basin just here. And then the shower head pulls out and then locates just up here. Cassette toilet just here. So to open to the cassette, just slide the grey lever across and then push the flush just on the top just here. And then close back up again just here. If you've left this open and you try to remove the cassette from the outside, it will not come out. So if you do feel resistance, just make sure that nobody's left it open. Level indicator just here, so this will illuminate when the cassette needs emptying. Light switch just there. We then have the rear bed, and then we have the over cab bed just here. So as you can see, we have the ladder just here, and then if I then just pull down, you see we have a nice large over cab double bed. We also have the netting that can be put up as well. Ladder just hooks on here and here. To drain the boiler down for winterization, just remove this section just here, and you'll see that the boiler itself just sits here and the drain valve is just here. To drain all the water out of the boiler, just lift the lever up like so, and it will then begin to drain all the water out. I always suggest that if you're fully draining the boiler down, that you also open up all the taps as well, because this will help release any airlocks in the system and help it drain down. When it comes to refilling it, make sure the taps are closed. Close the drain valve, fill up the fresh water tank, turn the water pump on, and it will then begin to refill the boiler. Let the pump run for a few minutes and then begin opening the taps. They'll cough and splutter as they force the air out. Once they're running freely on both hot and cold, then close, and then the system will fully reprime itself. Both front seats swivel, and they swivel just on levers. They're both also height adjustable, just on the levers just here.